Hello, 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 and welcome to yet another episode of the Conversation Capital with myself, Ursula Mariani. Should I call you the voice of reason?
Absolutely.
Everybody knows that is not Bonga's voice. So we've got Aspo joining us, and Given isn't around, so it's actually an all-new team, right? So it's myself and Aspo, and we've got the lovely Sadika Fakir.
Hello.
Did I say that correctly?
You said it perfectly.
We're towing the line here. I needed to say it perfectly.
You said it perfectly.
How are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you doing?
Great, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me. It's an honor and it's an absolute blessing.
Congratulations on the book. Let's start there.
Thank you.
We need more women who are killing it in corporate to write books like this. Can you actually bring it up? Corporate Rebel. Yeah, let's bring it up. Great work that you're doing.
It's me.
As soon as I got an email from your publishing house, I said, absolutely.
Thank you.
We've got young professionals here that need to hear more stories like this. We complain about work all the time. We complain about line managers all the time. And these are all things that you touch on in your book. You know, just how to navigate that space as a woman of color, even more important. So thank you.
Thank you.
Let's start at the beginning. Born and bred. Where are you from?
I am a South Coast girl, KZN South Coast, okay? So little town on the corner. You probably drive past it when you go to the Wild Coast Sun.
Yeah.
So I'm Zinto, Park Rainy, grew up there, small town mentality. But my dad thought really big. He was one of the accountants in town, so he found a gap in the market. Yeah. And I grew up there until we wanted big city life, and my sisters had moved on to Durban. So you can already see Durban is a small city. This didn't even... They were still playing Dirty Dancing in the cinemas.
Wow. Imagine that.
Just imagine that when I was in grade 12. Yeah, it's a while ago. Yeah. So the Dirty Dancing soundtrack still charms me, but Patrick Swayze's hot. So that's where I grew up. And it was always that mentality that if you didn't fit a specific box or a mold, you weren't going to make it. Now, being a big girl growing up in a small town, you can only imagine. Fat equals stupid. You're not going to make it. You wouldn't amount to anything. So what does this fat girl do? This fat girl decides at 17 she'll open up a modeling agency on the South Coast as well. Because, so a fat girl modeling agency, a complete hypocrisy or rebellion. Because South Coast people have hot people and they wear Speedos that are 5 sizes small. You know who I'm talking about.
And also in that era, being skinny was such a currency. Not that it's not right now, but it's definitely not the same thing.
Mother, beauty pageant, queen. Sister, model scout to go globally. Just imagine that. And now the fat one comes. And the one who cannot stop eating.
And you're like, actually.
But I loved.
Let me manage you guys.
Let me manage you. Let me show that South Coast people are amounting to things. And the amount of greatness that's always happened in little towns. I always look at Charlize. In fact, I grew up in the town with Devi Sangre. And she is deemed my bigger sister. Yeah. So I always look at the small town greatness impact. And how many small town girls and boys are there that have created an immense impact on this world.
Sure.
So that was kind of being brought up. And if I have to talk about career and thinking that.
But no ways. You're cheating us of the story. You're rushing through this.
Okay.
You're 18, 17, chunky. You decide to start a modeling agency. Yes. So baptism of fire, because entrepreneurship is a baptism of fire.
Yes. And a 17-year-old, but the 17-year-old said there's a gap in the market. Learned that from my dad, who was the accountant of the South Coast. And I go, but okay, what do we need? I already went for modeling classes, but I was that fat girl when my sister went that they couldn't find clothes for me to model. So I had to bring my own to model at the local mall. You know, that girl. So I brought my own clothes and your thighs rubbed together and you couldn't get the stockings up. Yeah, that. And I'd been trained, and I said it wasn't just about the look. How many girls and boys needed that confidence to walk straight, to hold their postures up? And from that time, I realized how obsessed I was about your personal brand, the way you show up. You may not be the biggest, you may not be the smallest, you may not be the prettiest, and you may doubt, am I beautiful enough? That is where it started. So we started this out. Little girls came, guys came. People of all colors came. Every Saturday morning, we rented out a town hall. They paid their little fee to us and we started making money. And we took them through a 6-week course. Then they graduated. Then the local shops came in. Will you model for us?
Oh, wow.
And it started becoming thriving.
Sure.
The little charity fairs. Will your models head up the fashion show? Will you choreograph the fashion show? This was 17, 18. Of course, the business failed. We blew all the money. The second the model fees came in, my best friend and I, who was my business partner, we blew the money. The business
Life is good. And you're 17 for crying out loud.
And your dad's an accountant.
Yes. And we had a checkbook. We went to the bank. We said we had a business account at 17. And praise the bank that supported us there. I won't make any mention, but this is where we started understanding financial management and the importance of, had we structured our budgets, my dad had that come to daddy moment.
Yes.
Like, I'm not funding you. I refuse to. And we decided then we let the business go. But I said, I'm coming back for you. I'm coming back because someone in that small town needs to be scouted. And someone out there wants a platform. So we carried on. It ended, but it ended with a bang, a big graduation. We had fashion queens coming in, supermodels coming in. Some of the models that we did scout are global now.
Wow. You did a thing.
We did the things.
Wow,
And we go, I always say, I'm a believer of God. God, did you use us as a vessel to give people platforms? Please do that. And Hemant, my husband, and I firmly believe that. And that was the modeling agency. There was no photographer in the small town, by the way. There was a wedding photographer and she was a waitress. So we saw her one day and we said, how about you come on shoot with us? She goes, but I've never shot a model. So I said, let's make a good price. And she challenged herself. She says, okay, like I've only shot wedding cakes and brides.
Yes.
And we went there by the game reserve. We did a Vogue set because Sadika saw this Vogue set where you had that line, you remember, and you had pieces of fabric.
Yeah.
I didn't have that. I stole my mother's sheets. And we did it and the shoot was beautiful.
Sure.
And her name was Angel, the model.
Yes.
And she had this beautiful skin, Nubian queen.
Sure.
Glow. And she did her hair and her adopted mother came and we were on set on a game reserve.
Yes.
It was making a plan. And
There's a blessing and a curse to coming from a small town.
Yes.
Because a small town can make you think really big and use the resources that you have without thinking. Somehow when you're in an overly populated big city, you're so scared to try.
Yes.
Because people are doing such big things. But in a small town,
It feels saturated.
it feels saturated in a big town. So there's always this thing. I always think small towns actually breed a lot of greatness because it gives you so much confidence. Like nobody's doing anything anyway.
And you're confined to watching TV or going to the beach. And I don't judge. I don't like the beach. The smell of sardines give me issues. And our house is directly opposite the tidal pool. And my dad used to go for the sardine runs and those funny, slimy fish. I had to pick.
I'm so happy to hear this. I hate the beach. And I grew up in Cape Town.
Sorry, we are going to get hate now. Now we're going to get. And I'd look like a beach whale at my size. And everyone said, Sadika, please don't wear a costume. You will cause a tsunami.
The weight thing is so interesting. How did you lose weight? I'm just so curious.
Oh, it was a whole long journey. So just how it started. Apparently, so when a kid is a mistake. And my mom took the liberty to tell me I was the unplanned kid, right? Yeah. And I said, why did you drink so much champagne on that night? I mean, my dad got jiggy. I mean, like, Dad. So I came through and I was researching this thing on obesity because I've become obsessed about it. It's apparently the fetus first trying to protect itself. So mom will put on weight and then the fetus will come in with that respective gene because fat protects and cushions. Then coming in born, the poppy fat, my family didn't understand poppy fat, obviously. At 6, I went on to weigh less. Those little ribbons. Wow. Those ribbons. And then in the small town, the weigh less auntie was obese herself.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. They never worked. Yeah.
Never, and it was in a Hindu temple.
Sure.
On Tuesdays. And then we got the ribbons. But the ribbon of shame was that one because you ate too much samosas before. Yeah. So I've been, you name it. You name the diet. I have done it, been on it. Sure. I've done it, but I realized it was a mindset thing. After losing my dad, I put on another 25 kgs. So it was trauma. It was emotional eating.
Look, I can't see this right now.
I'm going to send you the picture. I promise you.
I can't imagine it.
So I'm going to tell you, I'm the other half of me plus 10 because I'm a perfectionist. I decided to find 10 because some of us are going to go into menopause, perimenopause. So I bought, like an Indian auntie, I bought extra just in case.
Sure.
Yeah.
I have a question. I'm very curious about what growing up as a bigger girl in a small town did for you psychologically or mentally in terms of your confidence. What drive did you have in you to then open a modeling agency and also, I suppose, see it through? Because I can only imagine mentally having to push yourself to get there. It's not an easy thing.
Not at all. I grew up with the words fat equals stupid and ugly. And you'll amount to nothing because of your weight.
And you're lazy.
And you eat too much. Obesity is a disease. When are we going to understand this? Emotional eating is a trauma set factor. So growing up in the small town, I was judged. They were very pretty girls and I had to wear boys' clothing. And I firmly believe it embarrassed my family. And every time I had lost the 10 kgs, I went for that blood test diet where they give you 120 grams of protein, you know that diet, right? 120 grams, like a piece of chicken, no bigger than, and I lost weight. Of course, my body was starving.
Yes.
Was that going to sustain? And I started asking these questions. I went onto these fad diets. Then I had a sense of pride. Oh, she can fit into a Punjabi now. It's not pressing too much against her. And that made me feel so good because every time I put on the weight, I felt like I was less than. I felt unseen, sat at the back. And I go, this is so ironic because I love communicating. I love public speaking. I love giving people a platform. I love chatting, but it does dim your light. It's highly traumatizing. And I still fight the demons because, ask Hemant, I still look at myself in the mirror and I go, you are so fat and you are so ugly. So I am fighting it. So I say, I'm still a fat girl hidden in a smaller frame now. My head, because Hemant will go, why are you dishing up so much? I go, what if I get hungry? He goes, but no, you've started a lifestyle and it was that. I had to start questioning the why. So I can't say that there's a silver bullet, but I believe that this is a podcast for a complete thing because we are all battling it. Because you know what? From a small town, you go into an office, you get the same
treatment. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know, I've done the research. You're going to cry at this. Bigger girls get 40% less on salary.
Wow.
There was a research done.
Wow. I know that there's a thing about makeup, but I didn't know about size.
I can believe this as a chunky girl, and I've been a chunky girl my whole life. And also the whole stress eating thing. I resonate to this. Like right now, I'm writing up my PhD. And I've gained...
Like I feel it.
Yeah.
Like as
I've
we're
gained like 10 kgs just through the write-up. And there's some people that are like, oh, I'm so stressed. I've lost so much weight. And I'm like...
I want that stress.
I want that kind of stress. I've always wanted that. I just know as soon as I go through a stressful period, I'm going to gain weight. You know? And that's just... But I'm very grateful for the internet. I will tell you.
Yes.
Because, I mean, I say it all the time. Like now I work on TV, but I can acknowledge that the internet has opened space for people that look like me to finally
I believe I can.
You know, because there wasn't
and find your sizes because, girl, when I was there,
it wasn't possible.
Yes.
I was watching the Bigger Banks documentary, guys.
There we go.
And I was like, I grew up watching Top Model. You have no idea how much damage that was doing to you as a young girl.
And I'm damaged. And I'm telling you,
there was like a size 30 there that they were calling fat. Exactly.
Yes.
You're a young girl, you're in grade 8 and
you have to wear those old frilly. Why can't you be sexy and big?
I'm really grateful for this era that we're entering into. It's not the same. It's not perfect, but it's not the same.
It's not what I grew up through.
Yeah.
And now, but let me flip it. I get body shame now. You look haggard, you're too thin. So I go, I'm damned if I do. You can't win. And then the haters go, I've noticed you've put on 4 kgs. I mean, like you count, like how do you count 4 kgs, girls?
Do you know, there's I saw it maybe last night, a clip by, it was a TikTok by Kiki Palmer. And she was talking about, you essentially don't judge what you don't know, right? I think that everyone has become the moral police or the fashion police or the weight police. And it's that whole thing of when you point the finger, 3 fingers are pointing back at you. So while it might not be as loud as it used to be because there's more inclusivity, more representation, there is still that underlining sense of I don't know where I get the audacity to comment on someone else's appearance, moral beliefs, all of those things, because the same thing could be done to me. But it never seems to go away.
No, it doesn't.
But Stika would be doing an injustice if we didn't now step closer to your book.
Of course.
And like I said, young professionals are always listening. That's actually like, a majority of the people that watch the show. We talk about the work environment all the time, how to succeed, and things like that. So I'd like to start your journey now. You've started this modeling agency, ended a successful modeling agency. Now you're moving over. You go to varsity. I'm assuming you do something in marketing, advertising.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
I couldn't afford university. Dad couldn't afford it. So I pulled myself out of university and I had to study through UNISA. Never judge. Never judge distance learning.
Yeah.
If that's the one step you can do, UNISA got me through.
Sure.
To at least put something. Yeah, you can say it has no credibility. Now, for me, a degree is a degree. Yeah. And if someone out there is listening, please take a step to doing something distance learning.
And look at where you're sitting now.
Studying is not everything, though. It's about the practical lessons. So I studied whilst I worked. Dad died. We moved to Durban. And then the biggest question is, and now, well, what are you going to do? And here, I've always wanted to be a chef, by the way. So I'm going to already say that. Try landing that in an Indian household. Or you want to be a fat Indian cook. Is that what you're going to do? You're going to hover over there. You're going to peel potatoes. Is that what you're going to do? You're going to cook for the temple. So I said, no. So that's why I have these, my Michelin.
Yeah.
One day I'll buy a Michelin. One day I'll become a Michelin. I don't know, but food's my now you see fat girl and emotional issues and love food, hey? And I'm a foodie content creator. Do you see the dramas that are happening? I'm just stacking it up,
the love
right?
Is the love.
A love, it will always be a love. So then the second love of my life is marketing, media and advertising. Why? My father sat there, and it's a stubborn Indian uncle, sat there watching soccer one day. And this ad comes up and it said, BMW beats the Benz. And I'm looking at this man and I don't know if he's like having an orgasm or an aneurysm, right? Yeah. Yes. 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 I go, are you okay? BMW beats the Benz. I said, you can't afford that car. Yeah. And that was the Chapman Speak ad that John Hunt did with TBWA Hunt for Scars. We all,
it's a classic.
And then he did he did BMW Mouse. And I said, if you brought an emotion from this man, you made him believe that BMW beats the Benz. Second, you made him believe he could afford a BMW. Mark my words, 5 years later, he bought his 5 Series.
Because it's aspirational, right?
Made it so. Said, that is the industry. That is the brand management that you made my father believe. And that's how I got into advertising. So, sound shady? Yes, I know. I stalked TBWA. In Durban. Yeah. This is an Indian girl trying to get into advertising now. Hey, just remember that. And that was early 2000s. So just remember. Different time. Sure. Very pale male, skinny jeans, big glasses. Right? It wasn't for us of color. Yeah. We weren't there. And this was Durban. There was a branch of TBWA in Durban. I stalked the operations director and the strategy director and I said, I've done a portfolio of evidence. I was that Team You Free consultant. I consulted you for your biryani shop, your sari shop, whether you had a security company. I was there. I would do free work to build up this portfolio of I don't know what, that I gave you marketing ideas. Took my portfolio to the strategy director. And he says, you know what? There's no job, right? So I said, I'll work for free. And I did. I did for 6 months. I did. I was a research analyst. A research analyst who got sent to sex shops to research sex. That's where Hemant and I had our first date, by the lube counter and the vibrators.
What? There's a lot.
There's a lot here, hey? Yeah. This is advertising for you.
And she runs through it very quickly.
Very. I'm like, which brand was TBA?
So TBWA was doing research on AIDS for a foundation.
Right.
And they said one of the trigger points is bad sex management.
Okay.
So you are going to go and research sex for us. TBWA is the disruption agency. This is why they do such good work, because they get to a human insight. So that was one of my first gigs, just understanding the sex markets and understanding, do you drive protection? How do you drive protection? Because those are portals, whether it's a pharmacy for condoms and the questions we were asking in that sex shop was, would you put birth control? Would you promote safe sex? This was me, right?
Yes.
In the afternoon, I was doing research for the theatre industry because we were pitching on the Playhouse in Durban.
Yeah.
And that was my role for 6 months. And I was blessed. They found something in me, and then they hired me.
There's something in you.
Oh, there's drive, there's ambition, there's hunger in you.
They didn't find it. It was in you.
Yes, they
Like,
saw it. They saw
Wow.
it.
Yeah, we've been sitting for like 15 minutes and I'm like, what a girl. Like, what a girl.
I can conquer the world.
All right?
We are going to, and we're going to take it all.
Yeah.
And that was what triggered my passion for advertising. I owe a lot to what I am, to TBWA, John Hunt, Reg Lascaris, and that leadership. They call themselves the Disruption Agency.
Yes.
Now, disruption is not chaos. It's the same as the rebellion we are creating here, the movement we are going to build here. The rebellion is not chaos. The rebellion is questioning what is not serving us and questioning the status quo. And that's what triggered me in advertising. I worked with amazing brands. We moved up to Joburg. We did that grand Indian migration, Hemant and myself, zip cash, one credit card. And lo and behold, I had the opportunity of getting hired again by TBWA Johannesburg.
Yay.
And that's where I went job hopped a lot, right? And you get this ego thing because first, Durban girl moving to Johannesburg, first you're going to get nothing. No one wants to see you. A brown girl coming from Durban.
Yeah.
The one thing that held me on that CV, and this is why I say sometimes you may have to work for free.
Yeah.
TBWA's equity on my CV.
Yes.
You believed in Sadika. Life-changing.
Sure.
Life-changing.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be ballsy. We as women, as individuals, as professionals, guys, you're listening to this as well, but I'm pivoting to women. We need to be in a stage where we're not showing our CVs. You should call me. You should know who I am.
That's a flex.
It is a flex, and I don't live by my title. I'm more than. I'm God's girl. I'm a wife. I'm a mentor.
Yeah.
I'm now apparently a published author. A content creator. And then there's this title. And that's what I've come to learn as I go. Once I walk out this room, did my title walk out or did Sadika walk out?
Yeah.
And who are you going to remember? Because titles can fade. LinkedIn crashes tomorrow. What are those people going to do? Shame. The ones that spend hours and their acronyms behind their names and they validate on that.
Yeah.
No. And advertising taught me that. Advertising taught me multiple careers. And be careful of what you wish for, girls. I said I would never get into corporate. I'm going to be an ad girl for the rest of my life. From advertising, I went to media and I represented all of the big four. Like you have audit firms in auditing and accounting. You have like kind of big four, big groups of media agencies, and I represented all because I did the 50 Rand job hop. It started becoming an ego thing. Watch for that. Watch for that. It becomes a flex. Sadika's doing this. Sadika's doing that. Watch, because sometimes you're going to make a job move for an ego. Because this account depends on her coming. It's such a flex. Watch. I always say for the spirit of pride, it's the worst thing because I've had to eat humble pie. I've gone on a flex of ego from one media agency to another because they said this account depends on you. We're not moving. The business is not going to come. Oh, Sadika flexing now and still a very big girl and my confidence getting boosted, but maybe I'm clever now. I can hide. 5 months later, I pleaded with my previous agency to come back.
Sure.
And they were, I will respect that agency group and that CEO for the rest of my life. Come back home. You go when you're ready. And I said, I'm an ad girl. Look, said, I'm never going into corporate. Well, and I also said, never banking and financial services. Me.
And you know what?
And you know what happens? Be careful. So I say, I never want a Birkin.
Yeah.
I never want a yacht. Never.
You've seen how this game works.
Did you see it? Did you see where I'm going with this? Hashtag follow me for leadership skills. So into corporate, I had to and I declined the first corporate job offer. Husband comes, you're going to go. did you hear there's always home back in the agency environment for you? These jobs, these roles do not come up for people from agencies. Only 1% of agency people, it's called agency people, go onto what we call the client side. I wasn't going to do that then for people of color.
Yeah.
We needed to do this. We needed to go and start creating paths. And I've now spent 13 years plus into corporate South Africa. And it's been phenomenal. I've worked with some of the most amazing brands in the country. I've worked with some of the most amazing human beings and not so amazing human beings. But the story here is every organization has taught me what to do or what not to do. I appreciate the toxic leadership in some circumstances, toxic individuals, because I think we always go toxic line manager, toxic line manager. No, your peer could be toxic. Your colleague could be toxic.
Yeah.
You could be in a toxic manco.
Sure.
So but then what did you learn? I learned how not to be that person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So to toxic individuals, and I also know it's not them. It's the trauma of childhood. If we research this, because I became obsessed on researching with this book on micromanagement and high performance anxiety, which I suffer from because I'm a perfectionist. So I validate myself. Now remember, fat girl.
Yes, needed to validate themselves.
We will continue to validate ourselves with self-esteem. So now take all my time.
Sure.
Because I'm still trying to validate.
And I'll prove to you.
And I'll prove to you I can.
Everything. Yeah.
I'll prove to you. Take it.
I have a question. Why the apprehension to move from agency to corporate when 17-year-old Sadika was saying, I am absolutely going to start this modeling agency despite the audible voices and what they've said against me and against this? Why the apprehension?
I was told by family members I'd never make it in corporate because I was too fat, too stupid, too ugly. So it stuck.
It goes back.
It goes back. It was and that's what Hemant brought to me and said,
First of all, what family are you growing up in, girl? Like, how mean are these people? Like, they're so mean. Like,
can I say, they told me I did the stupid girls BCom.
Imagine.
Just imagine. Yeah.
But you see,
But families have this. And I have forgiven it and I have immense respect. But families, don't be mean. Don't be mean to your children.
Wildly mean. Yeah.
I'm going to say, I don't know if it's going to sound controversial, but it's also the changing of the times, right? Because I can imagine then certain things like that were common to say. And I'm not saying that it doesn't exist now anymore.
No, because EQ's only become a thing now, right?
Yeah, it's exceptionally difficult to be problematic in this day and age.
I agree.
Yeah.
Even within a family setting, I do think that it's a little bit different, but I can only imagine then the hardship of trying to navigate through that, knowing intrinsically that this is not okay and this is impacting.
I got told, don't even try financial services. You'll never make it. So that was entrenched. So be careful of what we're speaking to ourselves and speaking over our friends, speaking over our families, because it almost becomes a declaration. I had to unthink that. The second reason I was apprehensive, I'm an ad girl. I can go to the agency with my jeans. I heard this corporate culture. I must dress up. You can't be inked. I misunderstood corporate culture. And when I went into my first corporate gig, to understand that there's culture, there's leadership development, there's learning, there's bursaries, and there's bank rates. It's so nice. Bank rates are nice.
Very nice.
It's nice there. Yes. And
whenever I hear of bank rates, I'm like, how do I pivot?
How do we pivot?
Who do I marry?
Find a nice investment bank.
That's how I pivot. I just marry the right person.
Yes.
I'm still trying to get Hemant married off to a nice investment banker as well. So those were my apprehensions. And I was proven wrong in my first 2 weeks of corporate. I entered on Women's Month. It's such a fun thing. I do most of my job moves between August and September. It's such a funny time. And there was a Women's Day event. And I go, is this normal? Because at agencies, we never did Women's Day events. And we had a Women's Day picnic. And we walked out the office and there was a garden picnic. And I go, but is this like a holiday? Or no, because culture was important. And the word culture.
Yes.
As I was growing up in agency environments, they didn't have the time for culture. The margins were too low. Now agency environments are changing. They're worried about the well-being of their staff. Yeah. Now only. Back in the day, I wish they had it for me.
Sure.
A follow-up question. So now, let's say in somewhat retrospect, the Sadika that's written this book now, and maybe for anyone else listening that is also either apprehensive or struggling with imposter syndrome about making a big move. I also ask this personally because I've also transitioned from advertising, funnily enough, to a corporate space. What would you have told yourself, knowing what you know now, and not the airy fairy kind of telling? The very, I feel like as though you have some grit to you. So the kind of advice you maybe would have given yourself, but also people in that same space that are wanting to transition, but maybe struggling internally.
I'm going to be quite practical about this.
Yes, please.
The first thing, and I've learned this technique now, and I do it with every job move: the pros and the cons. If I stay, what are the pros? And I rate it out of 10. Okay. Then I get a score at the bottom. What are the cons if I stay? I score it out of 10. What are the pros if I go? What if the pros if I stay? And I weight it out.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I find that sometimes staying may cost you more
Absolutely.
in your growth at times. Sometimes staying. And that's why I go score out your pros and cons. And it's a technique I tend to use for anyone I speak to on making the next move or personal brand. And score it honestly.
Yeah.
Some factors are gaps, right? You're not going to know if you're going to have a good line manager. You can't until you've joined, right? But then you've got to go and you've got to say to yourself, if I go, what is the risk score? Okay? Because I came to learn that I could always go back to agency. And I have good leaders and a good reputation in industry to say, I've actually not made it. It's okay not to make it in corporate. I can go back to agency and start over. If someone's wrestling that, you must come at peace with yourself. I'm sure you add value in the previous space you were in. You could go back. What is the risk factor of not going forward? And taking
really
that chance.
Love what you're saying, because it's the second time you're speaking of not burning the bridge.
Yes.
You went to another agency and you could easily go back.
Yes.
How often do we just go, bye,
and
bye losers?
What is that quiet quitting even before?
And you're actually like, you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Look, I've burnt bridges with some, and I will, because I will not work with you again. And I am quite overt. Some individuals, I will not work with you again.
Yeah.
If I hear you are coming to lead me, you are getting my resignation letter.
Wow.
So it's kind of understanding. There's I think a level of maturity to it, and also confronting yourself.
Please don't do gut here when you're making this move, right?
You know, even when you were saying the pros and cons, I firmly believe in seeking counsel, not seeking advice from anyone, but seeking counsel specifically. And I would think, you know, it could be somewhat easy for me to write this pros and cons list, but from a wrong lens, right? Maybe focusing on the wrong pros, the wrong cons, especially if you have a very emotional reaction to where you work.
Because I'm miserable right now.
I've worked in places where I have run away from in resignation, and places that I have moved away from and moving to something else. I can see myself taking that list to Ursula, for example, in confidence and saying, these are my pros, these are my cons, someone objective somewhat. Can you feed into that? But I really like the confronting element or aspect that comes with writing it down and not feeling it.
Please don't feel it. Sometimes I go, and this is not a sermon, when the anointing has left the seat.
Oh, sorry, I'm going to
the appointment. It's gone.
When the grace has left the room.
When the grace has left the room, the seat is getting appointed and anointed for someone else. It's your duty to leave.
And you know when it happens overnight, when things that you could...
When a door opened that I didn't even see this door coming. It wasn't meant to be. There's something there. So outside of a rash decision, whatever you believe in, breathe 5 times, calm yourself down, pray if you need to, fast if you need to. Do not make the decision alone. Seeking wise counsel. You've raised a very important point. Be careful, of course, who you share it with.
Absolutely.
If you can tell me you trust more than 5 on your hand, there's a problem.
There's a fine line.
There's a fine line.
And identifying what trust is.
What is trust?
Seeking counsel.
Versus crab syndrome.
Yes. Sorry, I do have another question.
No, that's why.
It's so fascinating. I'm very curious to hear from you on somewhat mentorship, not just with you specifically, but I would say the topic of it. I feel as though, especially in transitioning this period now, listen, there was a lot of grace and anointing on it, so I was covered. But I sometimes feel that the act of mentorship is kind of fading, or people maybe go for the shiny options, but mentorship doesn't have to be maybe the way that we've thought it to be. So I'd like to hear from you in a corporate space.
You hit a very hard topic.
Okay.
Because and I think it's something we need to talk about. This whole asking for mentorship or requiring the model has to change.
Yes.
We are time strapped. I take this as a mentorship session. You would never be able to meet us one-on-one without time. Take this as a blessing. I take this opportunity as we are mentoring more than 1 million people.
Even the viewers at home, when viewing, this is a mentorship.
This is a mentorship. So we are starting a TED Talk is a mentorship session because Sadika's not speaking directly to Sarah.
It does not mean
that's not mentorship. Now I've burnt my fingers with mentorship.
Sure.
Ego, flex. Will you mentor me? You're so great. Be careful not to take the mentee if you are becoming an idol. We heard about it. We know about idol worshipping. My ego flexed again. I go, wow, people want me to mentor them. I took it as a flex. It wasted my time.
Sure.
They wasted hours of my time. They did not implement anything. And they just wanted my name as a reference. Your names hold equity. Girls.
Sure.
Be careful of who you're granting mentorship to. It could be a spy, a monitoring spirit coming in. It could be we've got to it. I'm sorry. I'm calling it. We're here to call it,
and
right?
I love what you're calling out.
Because
it's embedded in everything.
It's embedded in everything. And I came to realize this one day, a mentee just used me for name.
Sure.
Another mentee used me to identity thief me. Mini Sadika, like, you know that
explain identity theft in that
as in
imitating,
complete imitation, hair color.
Sure.
I'm the colonized Indian with naturally blonde hair.
I will tell you, I didn't know you were Indian. I thought you were maybe, I don't know, color.
Oh my gosh.
I got asked if I was Lebanese.
Yes.
I can see that. I thought something not South African grown.
So I'm Punjabi. So I come of North Indian descent.
Okay.
And the people up at North and because of the colonization and you land up quite pale.
Yeah.
My dad had green eyes.
I don't want us to run away.
Right, let's go back to this
because this is important.
Okay,
There's a guy that sat in this chair and he's a bit of a big deal. And we spoke on mentorship and he said something that I won't forget. He said, steal with your eyes.
Yes.
Meaning this moment here, you're a whole content creator. There are things that you can grab just from my page.
Just grab.
I don't need to have coffee with you to do this.
But this is this physical. Why must I?
And also the way you've put it now, like you're making me realize like growing older is so beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Because I know that I don't feel confident to say that without sounding, there's this people-pleasing element that you have when you're still younger.
Yes.
Right? Because
yes.
I'm like, you're saying everything that's really in my heart that's like, I can't have coffee with you. And there's surely nothing much I can do for you. We're in different industries. Surely anything you need to get, you can get from the podcast.
And don't flex my name.
Yes. Like you're saying so many things that I'm like,
and
it's like, so nice to grow up.
And we have to do that.
Sure.
Because I even say to my team, are you ready to take on this mentorship, this mentee?
Yes.
And I made the worst mistake of hiring a mentee. Ended up in a performance case.
So there's an ownership.
So I have been burnt. There's an ownership. And if you are wanting to become a mentor, there are processes, procedures you should follow. I always recommend the mentee must do a motivation and do an interview. You do a chemistry session.
Oh, wow.
Sure.
Do it.
Sure.
Even if it's a virtual, even if it's a 10-minute, suss.
Yeah, okay.
Suss it. Are they just wanting the coffee to take the picture to put it onto LinkedIn? Hashtag humbled. Hashtag feeling so blessed. Hashtag content creator.
And they're taking from your time and
They're sapping your energy.
yes.
Which time and energy are precious resources, right?
Are we going to get this hour back?
No.
But it's going to fill somebody's cup, which is the most fulfilling hour that I've spent today.
So
yeah.
So there's ownership, as you know, because I was asking from a sense of, it's so hard to find mentors, or how do you identify who is a mentor that you can align with? But you've really educated me literally in the last 5 minutes of what self-reflection, what work have you done to move towards your goal before requesting time to meet with someone? Are you clear on what you want to take out of your sessions with that person as a mentee?
And what's that time going to do?
Yes.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
And are certain things, are there goals that will be put in place where maybe it's achievable? There are more things that happen introspectively, but also in terms of
a mentee does not prepare.
Yeah.
Grates me.
Yeah.
I don't know, you tell me. No, then that's not a mentee mentorship session.
You haven't done the work.
You haven't done the work. And it's the same with coaching as well.
Sure.
You have a coach. You put in the work. Think about a personal trainer. They stand there flexing their muscles.
Yeah.
You are on that treadmill.
What are your objectives?
What are your objectives? What the world needs more of are, in my view, sponsors.
Yeah.
They're speaking in boardrooms that you are not in. They're advocating for you in
And
rooms
that's not
that
a
you are not in.
mentor.
That is not a mentor. I've not touched you. And there are people in my life that I don't even know have advocated for me, but have. Some have said to others about others. I say that's good gossiping.
Yeah.
You know, we need more sponsors. We do not need more mentorship sessions and. And again, that's my opinion, because this for me is mentorship.
Yes.
If I were to take notes right now, you've had access to 3 very highly professional, experienced women. I don't have to touch you physically as well.
And have coffee.
You don't
have
have
coffee.
to have coffee. Yeah.
No, you don't. We need more sponsors. We need more women going, and it's in different spaces. I met this person. You need to meet her. Fill your succession pipeline if you're recruiting, or not even meet this person. Or keep them in the back of your head. Because I was planted before my first corporate gig by a student who heard me lecture to my line manager at that point. She said, I've heard this person lecture, and they lecture media really well. I'm her student. Keep her. You're going to need her one day.
Sure.
So that wasn't an exec to an exec.
Yeah.
That was a student to an exec.
So sometimes we look at the titles of things, but it's not. It's.
We must move without titles.
Yes. I think
A
that's why I've always
student got
found-
me my first gig in corporate.
I can relate to the story so much. I can relate to the story so much. The person that put me in the room that I'm in today is somebody that I couldn't have thought of that person.
I didn't think about this person.
You know, they were, oh man, I relate to the story. And this is the part of like us overestimating, the exec in the picture.
Yes.
It needs to be this
Honcho.
grand voice. It really is treating everybody with so much respect because you don't know who's going to be in the right position to advocate for you.
That's it.
To say, actually, have you seen this individual?
That's it.
Sometimes it could just be somebody's proximity to greatness or proximity to the person with the opportunity. I really love what you're saying.
Really, there are some gems. I'm going to have to watch this back to, remember.
Sadika, I want to ask specifically now towards the challenges of being corporate advertising in the working space, line managers, because this is really what you get into in the book. And this is something that they say you don't quit your job, you quit your manager.
You quit the leadership.
Yeah, you quit the leadership because it just becomes way too much. And if we still want people to buy the book, but if we're to delve into a story where you quit the leadership, or how did you manage a space of bad leadership?
Maybe you want to put a cliffhanger so that people have to go and read the book.
Because this happens more often than not. It happens more often than not. When we've spoken about bad leadership here, the comments went crazy.
And it exists, unfortunately. My first insight, and when writing this book, it was therapeutic.
Yeah.
Because you learn more from bad leadership than good leadership. And good leadership is hard to find. And I'm so grateful for the good leaders that have backed me, supported me. Now, when it comes to bad leadership, it almost as I was growing up, and again, as I was younger, early 20s, it was easier to be nastier because there weren't rules in space. So when I was pregnant with Sid, I got told, will you be handing in your laptop? It's because there was no maternity benefit. So I said, I'll be back at work in a week because I had to protect the job. Hemant and I had no income. So after giving birth to my son in our home, because we couldn't afford a hospital or
you're actually not being fair. I'm red carding this. You are touching on just
the most hectic stories.
Because those are so they impact as
and
a
I
woman.
have to. This is so we couldn't afford. So Zoli, our midwife, says, you are pushing this baby out. You've got grit. No epidural, nothing natural. His child, read it in the book, was born on gar bags in his room that he lived in for 10 years. We push this baby out. I hand the slimy baby, sorry for the grit, because a client needed a strategy.
No.
So I hand this child to Hemant and the midwife. I bath. Okay. He's doing the feed and I couldn't do the first feed because there's a client representing a child vaccine brand that needs their media straight. Yeah.
And there was no AI back then.
There was no AI. So Kippy got.
This was your first child?
This was an hour of having my first child.
So, no sorry, this is too much for me to say.
This is a lot. Isn't there a bit of...
I wish I could. I was.
Yeah, this is... But now aren't we bordering on like toxic work culture?
Absolutely.
So that was where we came from.
Yeah.
So I asked for a week if I could just spend with my child. And that was the old industry. The old industry was where you could treat your agency like shit. I had, get the stupid, dumb media strategist out of my face. You are stupid. Get the F out.
Friend, I want to reflect on your story, but I know that you also went through,
oh, absolutely.
sort of like, there's something about agency culture.
I love God though.
Yeah.
I sat on a panel with her 2 years ago. We were talking about great agency client relationships. It's ironic, isn't it?
There's something in agencies.
There was something there. I love agencies.
Yeah.
But there was something there that was not good.
Yeah.
There was something not there because those were the cultures. There was another agency environment. I'm going to give you these examples.
Yeah.
And I'm talking back in the day, so don't come at me now, agency people now.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's changed.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I was like, I think it's
So
quieter.
You could not go to the toilet without asking permission. The agency founder did not want smells wafting around the space. So you'd have to book leave, go out to utilize. Yeah. I once sprained my wrist, okay? So I said, I need to go to the doctor to get a jab, a cortisone. Have the doctor come here, I'll administer it for you.
Sure.
Yeah. So that's the kind of culture.
Silenced.
Then comes, these are the type of, they call themselves leaders. I just say glorified managers. Then you come to the space where they now know, they're very clever.
Yeah.
They know your quirks now. They know you're a high performance person. Okay, they know you're obsessed with, and they know you have an esteem issue because you said you are a fat girl or you are a fat girl.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to nail it for myself. I'm going to claim it.
Milk this, yeah.
I'm going to wreck any form of personal boundary now.
Sure.
I am going to take up all of your time.
What do you do?
At that point, this is where the rebellion comes in. This is the rebellion. The rebellion was never about going anti-governance, compliance, going against the rules, going against employment or corporate South Africa or the world. The rebellion is, are you being mistreated? And when are you going to speak up? And how are you going to do so respectfully? When a line manager is encroaching in your personal time and space and says it's just for work, when their value system does not align to your value system, morals, and their lifestyles as well. I have a special needs kid. So after hours, I need to attend to him because sometimes he can get too stressed. He could have a seizure and die.
Sure.
Because he's got a cognitive disorder and has epilepsy. I have a 9-year-old going on to 61. Yeah. She gets traumatized for everything. Got a husband. But
I've
got a life. So if you start encroaching into that space, I give you access into it when I choose. So we've got to be courageous enough to go, I'm feeding the kids.
You know, I wish we spoke because we've run out of time, but I wish we spoke quite a bit about boundary setting, right? Because
it's so important.
We need to speak about it because
we have to speak about
as you're
it.
Speaking, I'm like, you're in a different place.
Yeah.
You're now the leader.
Yes.
You know, but some of us are still, you know, at the beginning or, you know, moving along on this career ladder. And we've seen it. We've seen where you set a boundary and it's, you think you can set a boundary? You know, they don't say it like that.
But it's foul.
But you see the repercussions of it.
Oh, you'll experience the repercussions on the Monday afternoon.
Yes.
If you've ignored them.
Or,
yes.
You know,
you feel the repercussions of it. And then you just, I wish I'd kept quiet. I wish I had just taken that, you know, and I wish I hadn't advocated for myself because I'm somebody who advocates for themselves very naturally.
Because
I know
what I sense here, the three of us, we take things personally as well. If anyone tells me don't take it personally and then you criticize and you call me constructive criticism, I will take it personally, okay? So I declare you do, even if you get the repercussions. Because you're dealing with this topic of narcissistic people. They want to be revered. They want to be idolized. You are dealing with toxic individuals who are broken. Hurt people.
Sure.
When you reflect it like that, no, you stand up for the boundary. I am at gym. I need to eat. I am taking the loo break. And I'm talking such simple things.
But
because
these are real things.
I sometimes feel guilty, I must be honest. So there's a guilt factor. And then there's that leadership factor on boundaries.
What about the disparity in treatment, right? This is definitely for me when it comes to being a woman, being somebody of color. You see the difference. Being fat. You see the pay difference. You see the treatment difference. And you're like, no, man, the only other person who gets treated like this is the other black female. Surely I'm not being delusional, but something's off.
There is a feeling. So, and I've been blessed in corporate culture of equality. Okay. But there are cliques in corporate. So, and I'm going to call the cliques out. You do have the teacher's pet. I think school, that's what it is. And sometimes it's not about brown. The brown circle may actually come up against the white circle. The black circle will come up against
a clique.
It's a clique.
Affection.
It's a clique.
And
you'll see all the fat girls come together and eat their donuts together the way
I like how you're answering this. Yes.
You see, it's not just about race. There's the cliques. The cliques must drop because from the cliques come the bloody gossip. And then the gossip causes toxicity. And then it's misrepresentation. Stop gossip and corridor chatter. Get on with your work, go home and have an amazing time with your family and your friends. We are not drawing the line sometimes, unfortunately, in our work or our jobs, and it comes home in that space. So you must start drawing boundaries for yourself. It's for your health.
Sure.
We have one life, one body. Glass ball, rubber ball. Careers can bounce back. Mine has failed me 5 to 6 times, and I bounce back there.
Failure's okay.
Failure's perfect. Health, glass ball. Marriage, relationships, glass ball. Kids, glass ball.
Sometimes rubber.
Always treated like the
Sometimes rubber, I agree.
We always treat it like the rubber.
Time.
Sure.
Glass ball.
Crystal glass.
Crystal glass. What's your rubber ball?
Your
career.
Oh my. Sadika, we need to go.
There's so much.
There's just so much because I think, there's no young professional that is not absolutely relating to this conversation.
And desperate for these conversations.
Yes, because we need to know how do we survive because we spend so much time there. They call it 8 hours, but
we all know the
truth.
truth.
You wake up to go there.
We spend more time with our colleagues than our loved ones.
Absolutely.
When your alarm goes off, you're going to work.
And
that's
the
your
quality
mentality
of the hours that you're giving your loved ones is also different. Because your loved ones are getting the time when you're supposed to go to bed and you're drained from the day. So also the quality that they're getting is just
not the true you.
You know, your best hours are going to work.
Do you think it's possible to manage that, to manage your output in a working environment so that after hours is not scrap hours.
I'd love for us to go into that. I know we're out of time.
Yeah.
I
Gotta come back.
I'm going to come back, but I'm going to talk about the micro moment.
Yeah.
So Hemant and I have no time together. I'm not a present wife right now. I'm not a present mom, but we understand we're doing something for the greater cause. I'm doing it for my career growth.
Yes.
We're landing this book and I'm grateful. So we have a 10-minute micro moment, whether it's 10 minutes of hardcore concentrated prayer, talking about our marriage, 10 minutes. It's a micro moment. Every day. Whether it's to pray together,
Beautiful.
he drives me to work. So we have that 20 minutes to talk about the day, plan for the day, pray together, have a cup of coffee, do the micro moments. So you can't do date night, unfortunately, or weekend away.
Be intentional.
The micro moment will go, what's that one plan for the future? Speak over me for today. I love you.
Yeah.
Micro moments have saved my marriage and have saved my family, have saved my kids. Mom, can I have a 5-minute micro with you?
Oh.
Just want to hug you and tell you I love you and I just want to pray with you. The micro moment. Do concentrated time so they get your best output. Mom, can I have a micro moment? She's booking it into my diary.
Sure.
And I know this is not healthy and it's going to come at me.
Yeah.
At least I get the 5 minutes
to their
with her.
own. Each to their own.
But
And
practice the micro moment
it's the
with yourself
world
as well, by
of
the way.
difference. Sure.
5 minutes.
It's a
the
good
world of
parting
difference.
shot.
Who's going to wait? No one. You owe yourself a micro moment. I'm beautiful. I'm going to wear something sexy and look at myself and get a pic. Micro moment. I'm a firm believer of the micro moment.
Oh my, I'm taking this. So as when I have 8 minutes, can I have 8 minutes of your time?
Yes, so that's what
But
we miss.
Yeah, we might have a new name for it. Can I have a
Yes.
micro moment?
Because Ursula for me is the busiest person I know, but to let her know I need you here, like I need your attention. Do you have 8 minutes for me?
Yeah. And it's just that moment I'm like, okay,
It's
I need to make
power.
time. Yeah.
I will drop
It's
everything
not about
if
the
Ursula
space of
messages me
time.
that. Yes.
Sure.
And you can do that in leadership as well. We don't have 2-hour sessions to do one-on-ones with our team. I do micros with the team. Quick
how's it
check-in.
going?
Beautiful.
But not about status. Are you okay? I've sent something. Something's not right. Micro moments make us more aware because I know I'm going in. I need to be vested in that.
Sadika, where to from here for you? Do you stay in corporate? Are you going into entrepreneurship? What do you see for yourself?
That's the cliffhanger, right?
Yes.
That's the cliffhanger. That's the last
Imagine
chapter.
her divulging her plans.
Dot. Whatever God has for me.
Wow.
As long I trust Him implicitly, that I can make a positive impact to the people I touch, that I can make a positive impact to my family. I owe it to my husband and my kids.
Sure.
I owe it to my dad up there. And I owe it to the society I serve.
And yourself.
And I just
Owe it to
myself.
yourself.
So whatever it is, whatever vocation, I don't know.
I love this. There's this quote by a lady, Ellen G. White. She says, higher than the highest thought of man is God's ideal for me.
And I'm trusting it's written.
Whenever people ask me why I don't do vision boards, I'm like, because
It's written.
my highest thought can't comprehend.
My story is already written, so to envision it.
And it's in the word. So it's a promise to me. It's written. And if you read The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, he'll tell you, Maktub,
Yes.
it's done.
Yes.
Why must I
already done.
fight? So
Sure.
there's a 450 pager upstairs already waiting for me. I'm okay.
You
Thank
feel
you
something in me.
so much. Thank you. I've really enjoyed this episode. I knew that we were going to get some gems from you. And we're looking up to you. You know, we're really looking up to you. And Steal with your eyes is your mentorship moment. Just direct them to the episode when they ask you to be their mentor.
Yes. Have you bought my book?
Have you bought my book?
Yeah, have you
bought
watched
my book?
podcast?
Come now,
I don't
come now.
think you've done all the work. Guys, that was today's episode of The Conversation Capital. We love to hear from you. What's your journey in corporate? What's your journey with work, employment, line managers? And thank you so much. It helps the channel grow immensely when you comment. For now, though, goodbye and God bless.